You've probably noticed that subtle change in your scent as the years roll on. An unexpected aroma that seems to pop up earlier than you'd think. It might seem like simple biology, but there's one key culprit at the heart of that smell, and yet it's only part of the story. In this video, you'll discover how a single compound teams up with lifestyle shifts and skin changes to shape that signature odor. Get ready to explore the surprising science and pick up tips to stay fresh and confident even beyond 70s. Tune in now. Have you ever caught a whiff of something a bit vintage when you walk past your own closet or when you hug an old friend? You're not alone, and you're not imagining things. As we cruise into our 40s and beyond, our bodies quietly start to change the way they smell. Here's the lowdown on why that classic scent shows up and what you can do about it. It all starts with the skin on your arms, legs, and torso. You've got little building blocks called omega-7 fatty acids living on the surface. When you were younger, your skin's natural antioxidants kept those fatty acids in check. But as time goes by, your skin's ability to guard itself slips a bit. Oxygen in the air meets those aged-up fats, and voila. The molecule 2-nonenal is born. Have you ever caught a faint, earthy scent on your favorite sweater and wondered where it came from? You're not imagining things. Your skin actually changes as you get older, and one of the culprits is a little molecule called 2-nonenal. This compound isn't something you pick up from your soap or cologne. It's made right on the surface of your skin when certain fats react with oxygen, especially as your body's natural defenses start to slow down. It's not just age alone that influences how much 2-nonenal you produce. Things like spending time in the sun, exposure to pollution, smoking, and even your diet can speed up the breakdown of skin fats into odorous compounds. If your meals are heavy on processed oils or you find yourself stressed, your skin is under more oxidative pressure, creating more of that signature scent. The good news is, learning about these triggers helps you take simple steps to slow things down. Even though your nose might not pick it up, family members, friends, or caregivers can register the change, and sometimes it carries a stigma you don't deserve. Remember, too, nonenal is as natural as the gray hairs that come in with wisdom. It doesn't mean you're less clean or less vibrant. It just means your skin chemistry has entered a new chapter of life. You have plenty of options to help keep things fresh. Eating colorful fruits and vegetables, like berries, tomatoes, or spinach, gives your body more antioxidants to protect skin fats before they turn into odorous compounds. Staying hydrated and using a gentle, fragrance-free moisturizer after showering can slow down oil breakdown. When you wash, pick a pH-balanced body wash to avoid stripping away healthy oils. And don't forget your laundry. Washing clothes with a scent-free detergent that includes enzymes helps remove oil molecules trapped in fabric. If you want to go a step further, look for lotions or sprays with vitamin C, green tea, or natural extracts that neutralize odor on contact. And remember to get outside now and then. Mild exercise and fresh air boost circulation and help your body manage oxidative stress more effectively. Dimethyl sulfoxide. You've probably heard about dimethyl sulfoxide, or DMSO, as a kind of wonder solvent, something that slips into the body easily and carries medicine along with it. While it can ease aches and help cells survive freezing in the lab, it isn't all smooth sailing once it meets your skin or bloodstream. Understanding its quirks will help you use it more safely and comfortably. One of the first surprises people notice after using DMSO is that garlic-like taste and smell. You might apply a bit to your skin and then catch a whiff of something strangely savory on your breath, or notice that your clothes and pillow carry a faint sulfur note. This happens because your body turns DMSO into dimethyl sulfide, which travels through your blood and comes out through your lungs and pores. It's harmless, but it can feel embarrassing if you're in close conversation with family or friends. If you ever feel a warm tingle or see your skin turn pink where you've rubbed on DMSO, that's your body's signal that irritation is brewing. In mild cases, you'll just feel a bit itchy or notice some redness that fades in a few hours. Sometimes it can go further, giving you small blisters or a patchy rash if you leave it on too long or use a strong dose. To keep things friendly with your skin, start with a small spot, like the inside of your wrist, and wait a day before spreading it over larger areas. Inside your body, DMSO can stir up a few more reactions. Some people mention mild headaches or a feeling of pressure behind the eyes, almost as if they've been staring at a bright light for too long. Nausea can pop up too, especially if you're taking higher amounts by mouth. Your kidneys and liver work to clear out DMSO, so if you already have kidney troubles or you're taking medicines that lean on those organs, it's wise to chat with your doctor first. Balance is key. Using the smallest amount that helps will keep side effects to a minimum. DMSO can also act like a magnifying glass for other chemicals on your skin. If you've got lotion, perfume, or even natural oils resting on your skin, DMSO may carry them deeper, amplifying their effects. That's handy if you're intentionally using it to boost a pain-relieving cream, but it's tricky if you haven't washed thoroughly beforehand. A simple, gentle soap and water cleanse sets the stage for safer application, so you're only delivering what you mean to. Apocrine glands. Your body actually has two main types of sweat glands. Eccrine glands are sprinkled all over your skin, on your forehead, your palms, the soles of your feet, and they produce a mostly watery sweat when you get warm or exercise. Apocrine glands, on the other hand, live in special zones, under your arms, around your chest, in the groin area, and along your scalp. These apocrine glands kick into gear when you're feeling stressed or emotional, releasing a thicker, oilier sweat that your skin's natural bacteria love to feed on. When you were younger, both types of glands were churning at full speed. Eccrine glands poured out sweat to help regulate your body temperature, while apocrine glands responded quickly to excitement or tension. As the years go by, though, those apocrine glands gradually quiet down. Their structures shrink a little, and their output slows. You might sweat less visibly, but the sweat that does appear can smell distinct, because apocrine secretions carry more fats and proteins than the watery eccrine kind. There's something poetic in the way this change mirrors the rest of our bodies, settling into a gentler pace. As you age, hormone levels shift. Testosterone in men, estrogen in women, and that hormonal dance influences just how often and how much your apocrine glands secrete. In fact, studies show that by the time you reach your 70s, apocrine activity can be 25 to 40% lower than it was in your 30s. Fewer active glands mean less overall sweat, but each drop of apocrine sweat has a higher concentration of organic compounds, so you might notice its presence more keenly. Meanwhile, your eccrine glands don't completely check out, but they do become less efficient. The clear, cooling sweat they produce helps prevent overheating, and a slowdown here can make you feel warmer even in mild weather. That's one reason why older adults can sometimes feel stifled in rooms that younger folks breeze through. Despite these shifts, your sweat glands remain marvels of biology, tiny coiled tubes hidden in your dermis, connected by delicate ducts that wind their way to the surface. They respond to signals from your nervous system, a flash of heat, a rush of adrenaline, a spicy meal. Their job is to keep your internal thermostat in check, and even a reduced crew of glands can pull off that feat most of the time. So next time you catch yourself wondering why you don't sweat like you did at 30, remember, your sweat glands have been quietly remodeling, trading volume for a different kind of presence. They may not work as hard as they once did, but they're still on the job, helping you stay balanced, alert, and yes, uniquely you every single day. Lipid oxidation. You may not realize it, but your skin is constantly changing its makeup as the years go by, and that shift reaches right into every little pore and oil gland. When you were younger, your skin oils flowed freely, keeping your surface smooth and supple. As you age, those oils begin to break down more easily. Think of how a fresh apple slice turns brown when you leave it out. On your skin, oxygen in the air does much the same thing, nudging those natural fats to oxidize. This chemical dance creates new molecules that carry a soft, slightly nutty or grassy scent, what many of us casually call aging odor. Underneath your skin's surface, fats known as triglycerides and wax esters serve as a protective cushion. Over time, they mingle with tiny bits of oxygen and transform into aldehydes and ketones, long words for simple, smelly compounds. You won't see them, but you will sense their presence on your shoulders or chest where oil glands are busiest. These new byproducts aren't as heavy as the original oils, so they float off more easily, whispering their scent into the air around you. Sunlight and pollution team up to speed this process along. Ultraviolet rays break down your skin's natural defenses, producing free radicals, unstable atoms hunting for partners. When they latch onto your skin fats, they spark a chain reaction of oxidation, amplifying those odor-causing molecules. A day at the beach or a walk down a busy city street can leave your skin more primed for this chemical shuffle, even before you step into the shower. Inside your body, the story is just as interesting. Young skin brims with antioxidants, molecules that patiently mop up free radicals before they damage fats or proteins. As you age, those antioxidants, like vitamins A, C, and E, start to wane. With fewer defenders on the scene, more free radicals slip through, turning your natural oils into scented bystanders. At the same time, cell turnover slows, so the top layer of your skin holds on to these new compounds longer, giving them extra time to broadcast their subtle scent. What you eat also nudges this balance. Diets rich in healthy fats, think olive oil, nuts, and avocados, give your skin good quality building blocks. But if those foods arrive with low levels of internal antioxidants, they're primed for oxidation too. A handful of walnuts might taste great, but without enough vitamin E or beta-carotene in your system, they can feed the same odor-making process when they end up in your skin's oil mix. All this may sound like a science quiz, but it's really your body's way of telling a story about time, environment, and what you eat. By understanding lipid oxidation and how your skin's oils evolve, you'll see that aging odor isn't a flaw. It's just one more chapter in your life's journey. Keep in mind that gentle cleansers, broad-spectrum sunscreens, and an antioxidant-rich diet can help you manage this natural shift, letting you stay as vibrant and confident as ever. After all, every change under your skin is just another proof of the decades of wisdom you carry. Medications. You may not expect it, but the pills you take each morning can quietly change your natural scent, sometimes in surprising ways. Take pseudoephedrine, the common decongestant in cold medicines. It works by narrowing blood vessels to ease that stuffy feeling, but it also dries out your nasal passages and skin. Less moisture means that whatever you do, sweat becomes a bit more concentrated, and that can carry a sharper, almost chemical edge you might not have noticed before. Opioids, whether prescribed for pain or taken after surgery, bring their own scent signature. As these drugs break down in your liver, they produce byproducts that can be excreted through your skin. You might catch a faintly sweet, almost perfumed note, or sometimes something more musty. It's not just your imagination. Studies have shown that people on long-term opioid therapy can develop a distinctive body odor that changes with dosage and metabolism. Thyroid medications are another example. If you're taking levothyroxine to balance a slowing thyroid, you may suddenly feel warmer and sweat more easily. That extra sweat mixes with your skin oils in new ways, altering the scent you're used to. On the flip side, if your dose is too high and your metabolism speeds up, you might experience a sweeter, almost fruity smell. It's your body telling you that your internal engine is revving a little too high. The plot thickens when you're on more than one medication. Mixing an antihistamine with a diuretic, for instance, can change how much you sweat and what's in that sweat. Add in a statin for cholesterol, and your liver's cleanup crew gets busier, crafting even more chemical leftovers that find their way out through your skin. Sometimes these compounds blend into a scent that no soap seems to fully erase. Polypharmacy, the practice of taking multiple drugs at once, is common among older adults, and it's often a detective story when a new smell shows up. It could be your blood pressure pills teaming up with your arthritis medicine, or that vitamin supplement combining its byproducts with your diabetes drug. If you ever sense a strange whiff lingering after you're fresh out of the shower, your medicine cabinet might be the culprit. None of this means you're unclean or that something's gone wrong. Your body is simply doing its job, processing each dose and sending leftovers packing, sometimes right through your pores. Staying hydrated helps flush out those odorous molecules faster, and easing up on heavy creams or scented lotions lets your skin breathe and reset. Wearing natural, breathable fabrics can also give those compounds less time to settle. Understanding how your medications interact with your body's natural chemistry turns an unexpected scent into a useful signal. If something smells off, that's a good moment to chat with your doctor or pharmacist. A small tweak in timing or dosage might restore your familiar, fresh self. After all, paying attention to these little changes is just another way you're looking out for your health and keeping your confidence right where it belongs. Hormonal changes. You might remember how as a teen, that first burst of body odor hit you during puberty. Sweaty gym clothes, that new grown-up smell. It turns out the same hormone-driven drama doesn't fully exit the stage when you leave your teenage years behind. In fact, as you move through midlife and into your golden years, shifting hormone levels continue to play a starring role in how you smell. For women, menopause is the headline act. As estrogen levels dip, your body's thermostat and its sweat glands get a little out of sync. You may have felt this as a hot flash, an unexpected wave of heat that leaves you reaching for a cool breeze. What you might not notice at first is that those flashes can trigger extra sweat in your apocrine glands, the ones under your arms and around your chest. Because the sweat here is richer in proteins and fats, it gives your skin bacteria more to work with, and that can mean a change in your usual scent, sometimes making it feel stronger or sharper than you remember. Studies suggest that nearly half of women notice a shift in body odor during menopause, and for some, it can be a signal they haven't quite connected to hormonal change. Men experience their own version of this story, sometimes called andropause. Testosterone gradually drifts downward after middle age, and with it, your skin's oil balance can shift. Less sebum, that is, the oil your skin produces, often means drier skin, but drier skin can also crack more easily, giving odor-causing bacteria extra hiding spots. Meanwhile, a lower testosterone level can throw off your sweat and cooling system, so you might find yourself clammy in places you never expected, or noticing new scent notes as your glands adjust. It's not just sex hormones in the mix. Cortisol, the hormone that surges when you're stressed or anxious, can send your sweat glands into overdrive. A sudden worry or long-term stress can mean more sweat, and when that sweat meets your changing skin oils, you get a fresh batch of odor molecules for your skin's residents to snack on. In later life, when you're juggling family, health, and maybe retirement plans, those stress sweats can sneak up on you, and on anyone within sniffing range. Your internal clock of hormones also follows the sun. Melatonin, the sleep hormone that helps you doze off, dips in daylight and rises at night. When you're well rested, melatonin helps keep your body running smoothly, including how your glands behave. But if bedtime becomes a battle and your sleep pattern drifts, you could see small shifts in sweat and scent as your hormonal rhythm skips a beat. Knowing how these hormonal waves play out gives you power to respond. If hot flashes leave you waking in a damp shirt, try lightweight, breathable pajamas and moisture-wicking sheets. And consider talking to your doctor about safe ways to ease those zaps of heat. Gentle exercise can help balance cortisol levels, while simple breathing or meditation practices can calm stress-triggered sweats. If dry skin is part of your andropause or menopause picture, reach for a fragrance-free moisturizer that keeps your skin barrier strong so bacteria have fewer cozy corners to colonize. Dietary changes. You might not realize it, but what you eat every day has a way of showing up in your natural scent. As you get older, your digestion changes. Your stomach may produce less acid, your gut moves things along a little more slowly, and the mix of bacteria in your intestines shifts. All of this can turn the foods you love into odor-making chemicals that sneak out through your pores. Think about onions, garlic, or curry spices. When you chop and cook them, they release sulfur compounds, which give you that rich, savory flavor in your meal. But once those compounds pass through your gut, they don't just disappear. Some slip into your blood, travel through your body, and get released in your sweat. The darker or spicier the spice blend, the stronger the molecules, and the more you, or anyone nearby, can catch a whiff later on. Processed foods bring their own surprises. Those ready-made meals, snack bars, and boxed dinners often pack in preservatives, salt, and hidden fats that don't agree with your gut the way whole, fresh foods do. When your digestive system has to work harder to break down artificial additives, it can slow everything down. A slower gut gives bacteria extra time to feast on your food, producing gases and smelly byproducts like ammonia or short-chain fatty acids. You won't smell these in your breath, but a surprising amount escapes through your skin. Even red meat has a role to play. As it sits longer in an aging digestive tract, certain byproducts, some with names you can hardly pronounce, develop and sneak into your bloodstream. One of these is called scatole, which can smell a bit like mothballs if it builds up. That doesn't mean you must give up steak, but it does mean being mindful of portion size and balance. On the flip side, a few simple additions to your plate can help counteract these scents. Fresh parsley or mint releases chlorophyll, a natural deodorizer that binds to sulfur compounds and helps flush them out. Crunchy veggies and whole fruits add fiber, which keeps your system moving so foods don't sit around long enough to create strong odors. And hydration, plenty of water or herbal teas, dilutes those odor molecules, making them less noticeable whether they travel with your sweat or your breath. Your gut-skin connection doesn't end there. Probiotic foods like yogurt, kefir, or fermented pickles introduce friendly bacteria that can crowd out odor makers in your gut. Over time, a happier balance of microbes means fewer stinky byproducts and a smoother digestive ride. Finally, it's worth remembering that aging brings changes in enzyme levels. You might notice dairy doesn't digest as easily, or that rich fatty meals leave you feeling sluggish. Those undigested bits become fuel for gut bacteria, inviting more smelly leftovers into your system. If you suspect you're missing digestive enzymes, like lactase for milk or lipase for fats, you could talk with your doctor about mild enzyme supplements to help things along. Underlying health conditions. You might be surprised to learn that certain health conditions can leave their mark on your scent, almost like nature's way of sending you a little signal. When you have a chronic illness, whether it's kidney trouble, diabetes, or a persistent skin issue like eczema, your body chemistry shifts, and that can change how you smell. Take kidney disease and uremia, for example. Your kidneys are your body's natural filters, working around the clock to sweep waste out of your blood. When they start to fail, those waste products, especially urea, build up instead of being flushed out in urine. That extra urea can escape through your skin, turning into ammonia and giving you a faint, urine-like or smoky odor. In severe cases, you might even notice a fine white dust on your skin called uremic frost. Tiny crystals of waste that sparkle like frost in the light and carry that same sharp smell. It's your body's last-ditch effort to get rid of what it can't process inside. Diabetes brings its own signature scent. When blood sugar runs high, your body struggles to use glucose for energy and instead breaks down fat. That creates ketones, chemicals that float through your bloodstream and out in your breath and sweat. You might catch a sweet, almost fruity note, or even a whiff that reminds you of nail polish remover. That's acetone. It can be subtle at first, but if the smell grows stronger, especially with symptoms like extreme thirst or confusion, it could be a warning sign of diabetic ketoacidosis, a serious but treatable emergency. Then there's eczema, the red, itchy patches that make your skin feel tight, cracked, and dry. When your skin barrier is broken, it's easier for bacteria and yeast to move in and set up shop. Common culprits like Staphylococcus aureus or certain corynebacteria feed on the natural oils and sweat on your skin, producing fatty acids and sulfur compounds that can smell sour, cheesy, or even vinegary. Some people with severe eczema say their skin has its own funk, especially in warm, damp areas like inside the elbows or behind the knees. The more you scratch, the more your skin flares, and the stronger the scent can become. What's fascinating and a little tricky is how these conditions can mix together. High blood sugar can dry out your skin, making eczema worse. Kidney disease can leave you feeling itchy, driving you to scratch more. And when you scratch, you create tiny breaks that let microbes go to work faster. It becomes a cycle. The condition fuels the odor reminds you of the condition. The good news is that understanding these scent changes lets you spot problems early. Keeping your blood sugar in check, following your doctor's advice on kidney care, and treating eczema with gentle moisturizers and mild cleansers can all help. Drinking plenty of water flushes out odorous waste, while loose, breathable clothing gives your skin a chance to breathe and heal. Environmental factors. Imagine your favorite sweater hanging in a cozy room with barely a breeze. Every hint of last night's dinner or that soft scent from your morning shower settles into the fabric, ready to greet you again the moment you slip it on. When air stands still, those tiny odor particles cling to clothes, curtains, and carpets, making your whole space feel a bit stuck with yesterday's smells. In homes where windows are small or rarely opened, and air vents are old or clogged, humidity can build up too. Damp air slows the evaporation of sweat and skin oils, giving bacteria and yeast a nice wet playground. You might notice that even after a quick wash, you still carry a faint scent of the room with you. It's not you, it's the air refusing to move. Think about places near busy streets, factories, or areas prone to wildfires. Tiny bits of soot and chemicals drift in through cracks or open windows, silently landing on every surface. Over time, these particles mingle with your personal scents, creating a background note you might mistake for just how things smell. The same happens when you paint a room, light a scented candle, or cook something rich. Those smells soak into cushions and clothing, hanging around long after the activity ends. A simple morning ritual can make a world of difference. Open windows on opposite walls to create a gentle cross breeze. It's like hitting the refresh button on your home, whisking away stale air and bringing in crisp outdoor freshness. If the weather is too extreme or your place feels too sealed up, consider an air purifier with a charcoal or HEPA filter. This little helper captures tiny particles and pulls moisture from the air, making your rooms feel cleaner and less clingy. You don't need a jungle to improve indoor air, but a couple of easy care plants, spider plants or peace lilies, can quietly lift pollutants and add a breath of green to your decor. A quick wipe down of surfaces with a gentle, unscented cleaner also prevents old smells from building up. And don't forget to give fabrics a regular turn in the sun. A few hours of direct light can bleach out trapped odors, leaving linens and clothing smelling fresh. Your living space is part of your personal world, and its air carries stories of everything you do. By inviting in fresh breezes, controlling humidity, and refreshing soft surfaces, you help every corner breathe and ensure the scent that sticks with you is the one you choose, not the one you inherit from yesterday's air. What will you do today to step out feeling fresh, confident, and unmistakably you?